Right, again, thank you for joining us. For those who just dialed in, the session for today is about Beyond Borders connecting youth for a healthier world. And we are having two esteemed speakers together with us to share with us their experience in the youth organization and how all of us as early career professionals can make a change for a healthier world. And today, together with me, I have Dr. Ofaswa and Walter, who are both from liaison team of FIP ECPG, who will be the moderator and MC for this session. And this is the agenda for our session today. It will be started with welcome and introduction to FIP ECPG. Then it will proceed with two sessions of sharing from our speakers and Q&A at the end of the session. Following that, we'll be doing a group photo as well. So please stay tuned. And if you like to make up while preparing for the group photo, feel free to go ahead. And without further delay, let me just start with a welcoming to all the participants here again. We are anticipating more participants to join in shortly. And in the meantime, let us share with you what is FIP ECPG if you have not heard of it before. So a fun fact about FIP ECPG, this year is celebrating 24 years old of FIP ECPG and next year will be our 25th years old. So we are looking forward to more networking events, summits organized by FIP ECPG to connect all young pharmaceutical professionals across the countries and the world to connect and mingle together. So if you have heard of ECPG, then you must know we are part of FIP, the International Pharmaceutical Federation, which is founded in 1912. It is a global federation of national associations representing millions of pharmacists, pharmaceutical scientists, and educators, in which our vision is to create a world that everyone benefits from access to safe, effective, quality, and affordable medicines and pharmaceutical care. And coming forwards to ECPG, why ECPG exists is very closely relevant to FIP development goals. One of the goals is actually early career strategies, which is over two. Number two, early career training strategy, in which one of the development goals of FIP is to really develop the early career pharmacists and pharmaceutical scientists and prepare us to make a bigger change to the world when we are growing to the career later on. So in FIP ECPG, we are a group of early career professionals within FIP with up to 8 years after the graduation of our first pharmaceutical degree. It was known as Young Pharmacist Group in 2001, and we have changed the name to be more inclusive and involving all the professionals who are in pharmaceutical since then in 4 years ago. Our mission is to promote FIP goals and being inclusive of ECPG membership, leading all of us to connect and take active role in FIP projects. And we envision a future for early career professionals all over the world where we are empowered to make positive impact in our communities and profession. As of today, we are having our members across 104 countries. We have 42 committees members and across 26 countries, and we're representing all WHO regions. So if you are not yet a ECPG members yet, please feel free to join us because you'll be receiving a lot of interesting informations, newsletter, even grant to attend FIP Congress from us from time to time. This year, our theme is growth and collaboration, which is exactly the reason why we are having this session with you to connect our members and others through public relation as well as create an engagement platform for us, just like the events today. And it wouldn't be able to happen without the team behind the scene. Some of them are here today. So thank you, the 2025 subcommittee and steering committee team for organizing and planning all the interesting events and lineups for the day. So As we are moving forwards, I will want to encourage everyone to turn on your camera if that's possible, and also ask as many questions as you can in the chat. We'll be addressing all your questions at the open floor discussion at the end of the session, so please feel free to share your thoughts or even your experience. And with that, I'll pass the time to Officer to introduce our first speaker. Over to you, Officer.
Thank you very much, Elaine. Once again, I want to welcome everyone to the first networking event, Beyond Borders, Connecting the Youth to a Healthy World. It's going to be an interesting one. We're not just going to dive into just pharmacy-related stuff, but we're going to look at how we as young pharmacists can collaborate and make an impact in the global space. So our first speaker is in the person of Sam. He's a pharmacist scientist based in New York, specializing in the intersection of clinical medicine and translational sciences. With extensive experience managing antimicrobial resistance in patient care and in conducting bench research, Sam focuses on developing innovative solutions for patients with severe infections. And beyond his clinical and research endeavors, he is deeply committed to global health advocacy. Sam contributes to numerous, or has contributed to numerous initiatives at the IPSF, and later served as the co-chair of the Youth Leading for Health Working Group within the WHO Youth Council. And currently, he shifts his global health pursuits to consulting in New York City. It's good to have you on board, Sam.
Thank you for having
Hi,
me.
Sam. Thank you for honoring the invitation.
All right, I guess I will share my screen. All right, can someone let me know if they can see the screen?
It's still loading. Oh, yeah, we can see it now.
Yeah, we can see it now.
All right, thank you. Hello everyone. My name is Sam. I'm a pharmacy scientist, as Fusa said. And here I'm an infectious disease pharmacist, and I work as a research scientist as well. So we do translational research here at Columbia University and New York Presbyterian Hospital. We try to use science, try to help patients find treatments as well as find new antibiotics that can potentially help with their infection. But today I'm not here to talk about my science. Today I'm here to talk about everything that I did with global health. So global health is a very, very interesting idea that I sort of found out through IPSF, which maybe a lot of you have been part of. I was the chairperson of public health for the IPSF for between 2021 and 2022, and later help as an IPSF as an advisor for the chairperson of public health in the next 2 years. And in that time, I was also part of the WHO Youth Council, where I kind of liaise between the IPSF and the WHO to help several global health initiative. And today, kind of my goal is to help you understand what is WHO Youth Council, what do we do, and potentially how you can join. And if the WHO is not something you're interested in, maybe perhaps you are more interested in community, something more localized. Hopefully through the Q&A session, like I can also give you some idea how to sharpen your leadership skills and how to make yourself a better candidate to some of these public health roles. All right, so I was just kind of introduce what WHO Youth Council is. So the WHO Youth Council, kind of like the basic idea is that we believe the young people should be at the heart of the decision, kind of like impacting their life and health. And this is sort of like kind of the the youth young health idea. So the WHO wants to support people, especially younger generations. So early career healthcare professionals, students, people kind of like between the age of 18 and 35. And that's kind of how they define young people. Of course, there are also younger people, which is those below 18. But the youth council is kind of restricted to kind of the age group between 18 and 35. So we want to support the engagement of young people and their participation in address key health issues such as communicable disease, non-communicable disease, mental health, and other areas. Try to help young people to get more involved in global health policies and global health decisions. So we kind of established the WHO Council that has like a representative from various youth organizations. So either the youth focus organization, which means that everything that they do is for the young people, or the youth led organization, which means that they are kind of like ECPG. So they are led by young people, but they not necessarily do topics that is related to young people, but definitely around health. So basically, this is a network that try to amplify the voices of people, especially younger people, and try to use their experience, their lived experience, to be specific, and the energy and idea to promote public health. So the WHO Youth Council started with like a really long conversation between the WHO and kind of like the two major health student organization, which is IPSF and IFMSA. So we started that conversation like really long time ago, and with the help of the WHO, which a lot of you may know, we as well as like some partner organizations throughout kind of the entire timeline that we helped establish the WHO Youth Council. So between 2015 and 2017, we started this conversation about having a specific youth entity within the WHO, maybe as an advisory group, maybe as WHO is really interesting because it has a lot of strategic advisory group. So they're thinking of having one for young people specifically, and so the Department of Multilateral Health Collaboration started a conversation with all of the youth organization that is originally that's officially approved by the WHO. It's on the WHO roster. By 2019 and 2020, which is some of you may know, Hira Ali, like she was the person before I took the position of the chairperson of public health in IPSF. They officially approved the first draft of terms of reference, which means the contracts between like different organizations and the WHO that says yes, we think this is an important thing to do. We think this is a great idea. How we want to go about it. What the Youth Council is going to do. And by 2021, we finally approved the final version of the terms of reference, and we start active applications. And by 2022, we have in early 2022, we have selected a group of 20 youth organizations. Each organization has between 1 or 2 representatives. IPSF and IFMSA usually have a little bit more, just because like we have more capacity in terms of like a youth organization, and we have like a regional representative and different age groups. We approved the WHO Youth Council, and we kind of formed the first meeting in Berlin, Germany, and we established the 5 working group, which I will be talking about. And by 2023, we had our first official WHO Youth Council side event at the WHA. There we kind of synergize with different youth groups, different young people that's attending the WHA in Geneva. We talk about different topics surrounding NCDs, and we try to use help young people to voice their ideas regarding how they want to help non-communicable diseases. In 2024, we initiate the second official Youth Council side event, but this is the first side events that we had with member state participation. We actually had quite a number of member states, including the UAE, Peru. We also have the Netherlands. So basically, essentially, that we have a lot of countries who are attending the World Health Assembly, the WHA, but youth side events are usually something that only young people do, and you may want to say different things regarding health issues, but at the end of the day, the member states are the people who are actually making the decisions, so your voice doesn't get heard by them. But this is a very monumental event because you get to have a discussion with all of the people. I think we also had like 2 member states from Indonesia who were very interested in our ideas and want to talk more about it. By the end of 2024, we can kind of conclude the first cohort of the WHO Youth Council, and we have the application from the second group. And now I will also touch upon what the second groups are about. So the WHO Youth Council working groups are five different working groups. Originally started at 3, and as we go, we kind of expand as we have more capacity, as well as like more people are interested to work with the Youth Council. So the first we have the Youth Leading for Health working group, which is the group that I was chairing for. Then we also have the mental health. Of course, they work a lot on education, how to raise awareness on mental health in several regions. I believe in Africa, but also in Europe. The NCT working groups, they focus mostly on cancer as well as alcohol consumption. The climate change and health working group was led by YHO, by Katya, and some of you may know her. She basically connect the climate change and health and try to promote a lot of connection between the WHO as well as the UNFCCC, the UN framework of climate change convention. And then the last one is the UHC. It was chaired by Isoha, the International Student of One Health Alliance. Basically, what she does is that to bring out the idea of One Health and basically talk about accessibility, how in some countries people have access to certain quality of healthcare, but in other countries they don't, and how younger people can help to bridge that gap. But myself, I chair specifically for the Youth Leading for Health working group, and so I'm just going to talk about it because that's something I know more about. And this working group it's basically trying to have this partnership between young people and help global health decision-making process. Basically, we go to talk to different member states, represented from member state, different diplomats, as well as different different young diplomats that is working in global health. So we go talk to them and try to see if there is a possibility to have a partnership between us and them. And basically, we develop several strategic mechanisms for engagement, and that's why we have the side events. We have several different opportunities throughout the years. Then we have speakerships, trying to help young people to participate and try to get them into participate is what we want to achieve at the end, but what we usually do is to try to help them to be part of the discussion. So So there are newer working groups starting from the second cohort, which I know a little bit about, and so I'm kind of give you like a brief idea of what they are. So there are three working groups, basically a consolidation of the previous five into three. So they have the health, education, and literacy, basically kind of like combination of UHC, as well as mental health, as well as youth leading for health working group. So this working group's goal is try to influence health education resources developed by the WHO. You know, WHO has a lot of education, public health education information, so they kind of try to use that as a jumping point to help more people to understand about their health, and especially in younger people. And the key point here is that they try to enhance health literacy, try to advance health education on crucial health issues. And of course, the goal is to help the younger people to understand more about their health. The secondly is the accessibility and equity working group, and basically a combination of NCDs as well as UHC, and the purpose is to advance an inclusive, equitable, and accessible healthcare system, which is sort of we all know in the current political climate around the world is not so acceptable of the idea of we need to be inclusive, equitable, and accessible in turn for everyone to actually access healthcare to promote health. But basically, this is what this working group is working on. So UHC and identify different like structural, financial, and systemic barriers that kind of limiting young people to access health. The last thing is planetary health. So it's a combination of the idea of One Health, but also the idea of climate change in health, how there is an interconnectedness between the health of the planet as well as the health of animal and the health of people, how they are all connected to each other. So basically it's to kind of mobilize actions and contribute more to the global planetary health and One Health agenda, trying to address issues like the climate change, pollution, human health, as well as antimicrobial resistance. So basically, that's what the WHO Youth Council is about. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you very much, Sam. That was very insightful. We already have questions coming up, but we'll do all that during the open floor discussion. Thank you so much. So at this juncture, I would like to introduce our second speaker. She's the person of Dr. Shirley Milianti. She's a registered pharmacist in Indonesia and a lecturer at the School of Pharmacy and Applied Sciences in Robert Gordon University. With over 8 years of experience in health research and education, she specializes in pharmacy workforce development, competency frameworks, and advancing pharmacy practice globally. She has held various leadership roles, including the FIP Data and Intelligence Specialist. Dr. Shirley is a fellow of the Royal Statistical Society and the Higher Education Academy and has been recognized for her contributions with awards such as Best Paper in the International Journal of Clinical Pharmacy 2023. And her voluntary work includes serving as the president of the FIP Young Pharmacists Group back in 2020, and also a steering committee member of the WHO Global Health Working Network Youth Hub, where she promotes youth inclusive policies and develops advocacy toolkits for healthcare professionals. It's a great honor to have you here, Dr. Shirley, and we're really looking forward to also get more insights from you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Officer, for the nice introduction and for the ECPG for this invitation as well. So perhaps I will share my screen now. Bear with me. Can someone tell me if you can see my screen? Okay, good.
Yes, screen.
Thank you. Hello everyone again. So thank you so much for joining today. So I am Shirley. I think Officer already introduced me. And I think now just want to let you know that I'm part of the Youth Hub Steering Committee. And you might have seen in the program that Afe was meant to be speaking with you today. She really wanted to be here, but unfortunately she couldn't make it. So you have me instead. I promise to do my best to share everything she wanted to bring into this session and hopefully to keep it fun and also interesting for you. So as you already know, today's event is called Beyond Border, Connecting Youth for a Healthier World. This title really means a lot to me. It reminds us that wherever we come from, young people can join forces to make to make the world a healthier place. Even though we live in different countries, speak different languages, we all care about people's health. And we all have the energy and ideas to improve healthcare for our community. So in the next 20 minutes, I hope that I can share with you a little bit about the Global Health Workforce Network Youth Hub, what we do, who we are, and how young people like you, early career professional like you, can get involved. I will also talk about some exciting work that we are doing to make sure that youth voice are heard in health policy and practice. So let's just get started and hopefully you will enjoy this session. So a little bit about Gwen Youth Hub. We started in 2017, so it is a bit older than Youth Council, basically. Um, so we started basically during the 4th Global Forum on Human Resources for Health in Dublin. The Youth Hub is part of a larger project called Working for Health. It is led by the WHO and focused on making health and care workforce better, basically. So the main idea is basically young people should not only work in healthcare, they should also have a voice in how health systems are created and improved. We know that entering the workforce is not always easy. There can be like a lack of job, confusion about where to go next, or even feeling left out. Like, for example, if they decide something that you are not being part of the decision. So that is why the Youth Hub is actually is created. That is why the Youth Hub was built to change that. And now actually we are a strong global network. We have over 1,700 members. And we also have more than 40 youth organizations from all over the world. We are working together to bring youth ideas and leadership into health policy and practice. So that's the aim, basically. Why actually this is matter? So the Youth Hub is not just a network. We are part of something bigger. I think I mentioned earlier, kinds of like we are connected to the global strategy on human resources for health and also working for health action plan. But what actually does this mean for you? So it means that we would like to make sure that youth voices are not only heard, but also listened to in some of the biggest health discussion in the world. Like I think some previously mentioned about in the WHO. So we kind of like similar aim in that case, more or less. We have 3 main jobs in here. Basically, we want to help youth voices reach like a big global decision spaces. So not just in the back row, but also at the table. We are also aiming to connect sectors and partners so idea and people can work together for bigger impact. And we also support accountability. So we make sure that all of the promises that we have turned into action and we can keep track on the progress. So that's the hope, basically. And yes, our work is kinds of like local and global. Is about like shaping health workforce policy with youth at the center. So that's kinds of like our aim. So in this slide, you will see the main goals of the Workforce 2030 strategy, and this actually guide all of our work. So we want to make sure we make the most of the health workforce that we already have. Can be like by improving education, creating better job opportunities, and building support systems, especially like in the area that needs most, basically. And we also need to plan for the future. As you kinds of know, health systems changing fast. So we need the right people in the right places with the right skills. And that means we need to invest wisely. So it's kind of like what the Workforce 2030 strategy objective is. And we also need to focus on like leadership and also good governance. Countries need like a strong system to manage their whole health workers well. So it needs to kind of like to include clear rules, good training, and also like making it easier for people to walk across borders. So that kinds of things basically. And finally, always we need better data and evidence. We cannot fix what we don't understand. So as you know, like a tools kinds of like perhaps you know, National Health Workforce Account. This actually a kinds of tools that help countries also to make this decision. And as like a part of Youth Hub members, we would like to help this through like our pillars, which I will introduce with you shortly, basically. So just another information about Youth Hub, basically, it is really your platform. So whether you are a student, you are a young health professional, or you are a youth advocate, you can help like shape the future of the healthcare. So, and we work across like local, national, and global levels too. And I will share with you later about how you can be involved. It is basically, we want to support youth involvement in health policy. We want to raise awareness about the right of students and workers. We also want to build connection across different profession and sector. And again, about improving data and evidence about youth in health. And we also believe in being open and inclusive. So there is always room for more young people, no matter your background and where you are in your journey, your voice matters here. I know that previously some mentioned about like there is a category of the youth. In Youth Hub, we kind of like our focus is about young people, and at the moment we as long as you are still like youth in heart, you can still join us basically. And if, for example, you're thinking about, do I need to have like a fancy title or a long CV to join? The answer is actually no. So we value like curiosity, energy, and also a passion from you all. So let's talk a little bit about how Youth Hub is organized, so you can see where you might want to get involved. So we have like two main groups here. We have the steering committee. We also have the WSO Health Workforce team, which is basically to make sure that we are part of the global plan. So the steering committee itself, think of that like kinds of like, I think the ECPG previously mentioned about steering committee. So it's more or less like similar like that. And I mentioned previously as well, we focus like on three main pillars. We focus on advocacy, which is to help youth to take part in the health policy decision. We also have a research, another pillar, which is also a part of like how we can turn like ideas into a real evidence. And also we have a conference to connect youth through like our events basically. And this is what I will tell you a little bit more about each of the working group. So the first working group, as I mentioned previously, is about advocacy working group. So what is exactly advocacy? So if we talk about it, it's basically about like taking action, either on your own or with others, to get support for something important. So in our case, it's about like making sure young people are seen and heard in the world of health. So that's kind of like our plan. Yeah, so our advocacy group is kind of like made up by our members from many countries and from different health background as well. And they will work with the steering committee and with the WSO to develop a couple of things which I will share with you shortly. So this is like the first example about what our advocacy group has achieved. I'm not sure why my slide keep like moving back. Anyway, so let's for this is like kind of like one of the example that our advocacy group has created, which is an evidence synthesis. We created a report, it called Youth and Decent Work in the Health and Social Care Sector. And this report actually explore what it's really like for young people entering health jobs, what's working, what needs fixing. So it's kind of like an evidence about the importance of youth and decent work in the health and social care sector. And it kind of like you will see a lot of evidence in the report, which you can have a look what kinds of challenges that the youth have and face basically. And we actually launched this report in kinds of like many we launched it previously in the WSO before I moved to the advocacy toolkit. Okay, sorry, I think it's kind of like moved back and anyway. So for the evidence synthesis for this report, we previously launched this in the WSA. I think it is published previously in 2020. And after that, we know that from the advocacy working group, we want to also develop a toolkit to help with the young young health professionals, including pharmacists. So in 2022, we launched this advocacy toolkit. This toolkit is not just a guide. It is basically like a practical tool made by and for young people in health. And it helped basically you to speak up, to influence leader, and to push like for better trainings, jobs, and policies. And if you look at the advocacy toolkit, you can basically scan the QR code. You will see kinds of like how you can do an advocacy for yourself and also like in the higher level as well. And we share this toolkit like a major events like in as you can see in this slide is we share it in the UN General Assembly. So basically the youth voices can be heard into the highest level. So if you are interested, I will encourage you to basically to scan this QR code and then download the toolkit and also share it with friends and network. Basically, it's meant for everyone. In 2025, basically this year, during the 78th World Health Assembly, we also have an event. It called Youth in the Health and Social Care Workforce. We brought together youth leaders and experts. I wasn't there, but I heard a lot of information from my colleagues, which is Kalin. As you can see, Kalin is the one in here. She's basically like the founding member of the Gwen Youth Hub. So in this workshop, we kinds of like, from what I heard, it was a lot of energy coming there and a lot of information there. And from the note that I received from Ave is basically, it's about like, we ask a simple but powerful question. What does it take to make sure youth have fair and decent work in health and social care? So that's a kinds of thing that we are trying to tackle during this workshop. So we talk about how to close the gap between education and getting a job, how to give everyone a fair chance of opportunities, and how to make sure youth voices are heard in the policy decision. So it's again how to bring the youth into a table. So as you can see in the photo, hopefully you will see like a lot of energy coming from that. Talking a little bit now about our second working group, which is research working group. So this is a team that turned big idea into a real evidence, basically. The strategic aims of this working group is to kinds of like to shape the policy dialogue. That means like talking with the decision makers and make the youth voices count. And also through this working group, we focus on like right and advocacy to make sure, again, I think this is similar with previously, but basically this one is focused on the data and evidence. So our opinion are backed by facts, not only just by feeling. So that's the plan. It is a space like for evidence generation. We bring people together to find and share what really works. And we also look at like opportunities and barriers for youth. That's a kinds of thing, that's the thing that we kinds of like doing in the research working group. And many of them, they like a spreadsheet, basically. They like data. and they kinds of like they are not only doing like the analysis, but they also like review the background literature, they analyze the secondary data, they do kinds of like scoping review in order to like develop a strategic recommendation. So there's a kinds of thing that what they are doing. So it kinds of like they are a detective of the Youth Hub to try to find facts to solve the problem and to give people a tools to kinds of like they need what they need to create a change. So they do love a good spreadsheet, but they also love like turning that numbers into action. So that's a kinds of thing what the research working group is doing. And the last working group is the conference working group. This is to make sure that youth voices are heard again. And since 2019, this group actually has hosted like 4 major online conference and a lot of webinars with partners. And this is about like a networking. And yes, sometimes they try they try their best basically to keep the things lively. Sometimes like Zoom fatigue can real, but they do have like a lot of energy basically to try to make a networking events like this to kinds of like to spark the conversation about youth basically. This is one of the biggest online conference that this working group has created in 2021. So it brings over 1,100 people from around the world. It was 2 days full of ideas, sharing and inspiration, and they heard like a lot of from like youth leaders, public health experts, and voices, basically. And the main theme was building a resilient and adaptable youth health workforce. At the end, this working group create call for action, which is shaped by these conversations, which I will share with you in the next slide, which is this one. And again, this is a kind of like a tool that you can use as well. So you can scan the QR code. You can use this basically to start conversation with the leaders, or even like kick off a youth-led project, which I think I will have in the next slide, which is this one, how you can use it. So you can use it whatever way to help you make a difference, basically. Perhaps scan the QR code first and then read through it and then localize it, adapt it, make it yours, and again, share it with the others. Because we believe that when a lot of youth join in, the movement will get stronger, basically. So just have a look at this toolkit, this call for action. Another thing that, okay, bear with me. Yeah, another conference, previously was in 2021, and in 2022, we focus on something else, which is a planetary health. And in here, again, we brought together youth from around the world to see how we can protect both people and the planet at the same time. So it is about this. Okay, I think perhaps I need to be quicker. This is another field tour conference that we created as well in 2024. It's focusing on the USC, and this is the first time that we kinds of like have a model model WSO. And I heard from some of my colleagues that it was a really amazing experience to kinds of like to make a mock of the WSO there. So it's kinds of like it's really good. And lastly, about another online webinar that we conducted this year, just I think like a couple of weeks ago, in collaboration with Accenture. It's focused on digital transformation, and we do have this in our YouTube video, and perhaps I can share it with you all later as well. And what next for us? We just want to invite you basically to join us. And I think I will just make this quick. Again, you don't need years of experience. So just scan this QR code, and then you can join us and be part of the Gwen Youth Hub. So I think that's all from my side. Thank you very much for listening.
It's really nice to have Dr. Shirley and Dr. Sam to share those insightful information for us. And I'm today's moderators, Water Lewis, for moderator today's MCs and queries from the chat box. So first question will be how we can engage as a youth professional, health professional, or a student, how we can engage with the youth hub and the youth councils, and in the individually or in the organization such as IPSF or ECPG or national YPGs, how can we engage more with the youth council or youth hub individually or on behalf of this organization? So maybe we can have the sheriff in the first. I know you have shared so many links and event for us. Maybe you can recap for us again. Thanks.
Thank you, Walter, for the question. Can you tell me again about, is it the question is about like how ECPG member can contribute to the health workforce planning?
Yes. You can share
Yeah.
about the opportunity you have shared before with us
Yeah.
and how we can
I
apply
think
for this. Yes, thanks.
yeah, thanks. Because I think I kind of like already shared it in my presentation, so it's kind
Yes.
of like repetitive a little bit. But I would say like a quick thing that you can do is basically you can join us as a membership, and I hope that I can see all of you join us, and then when you join us, we will basically share with you all about like what kinds of exciting things that we can do, and there are a lot of things that that kinds of like happening that we keep you posted as well, and also follow us in our social media. But apart from that, basically it's also like if, for example, we are thinking about local, national, and also globally, I would say like at the local level, just always don't be afraid to share your voice, basically. So you kind of like you need to be brave with any ideas that you have. You can lead a health project within your community, or join the, like for example, the local local early career pharmaceutical group in your country, and then you can kind of like also join the pharmacy group and help shaping and kinds of like advocate for youth in that case. And at the global level, you can join FIP, for example, join the Gwen Youth Hub to kinds of like to share your story, share your works, share your idea, and remember your voice is powerful. So just be brave to share all of them, basically. I hope that I answer your question, Walter.
Yes. So for intern, so how we can involve with the youth councils if we are the students or the young early careers pharmacists and we want to engage with the WHO youth councils. Is there any opportunities or initiatives you can share with us?
Yes. So for the WHO Council, it's a membership-based organization, kind of membership-based initiative. So you need to have an organization. So what I would suggest people to do is to go look up the current members of the member organization that's in the WHO Youth Council, and also I guess more specifically to figure out like what topics that interest you the most. Are you interested in UHC, perhaps NCD, antimicrobial resistance, climate change and health? Which of those like kind of thematic topics that the WHO Youth Council is working on that very interest you, and pick one organization to join. Like if you're interested in just being a pharmacist, perhaps you can join the FIP ECPG to kind of like explore to see if you actually like the topic, or perhaps that's not something you're interested in. If you're still like a pharmacy student, perhaps you can join IPSF, which is part of the WHO Youth Council still. Then if you're interested in more other like more specific topic, perhaps like more interested in cancer, or perhaps more interested in One Health or climate change and health, and those are like others, a lot of student-based organizations that you can join them, and you just tell them that you're really interested in working with the WHO Youth Council and how you can join from there. But I guess like the most important points is to figure out what you actually like, instead of going to, oh, I want to join the WHO Youth Council, or I want to join this organization. I think that's the most important thing.
Thank you, Dr. Sams. And I'm also the FIP CPGs for liaison for the WHO Civil Society Commissions. So if you want to learn more in chance or opportunity to engage with WHO, please join the ECPG. If you are volunteers in our WhatsApp groups, you can also have a update and the latest information to engage with these WHO's initiatives as well. So join us now. Okay, so next question will be if we want to engage with the global initiatives or so global health, what kind of skill set you will suggest for these students or young professionals? And maybe you know the WHO's Hub or Use Console, we are focusing on the planetary health now or any new emergence, innovations or things or interest. So what kind of skill set for these youth professionals that have to prepare for these skills? So maybe we can have sample these times for the first time.
Yeah, so there are a lot. So I'm just looking at my notes. There are a lot of initiatives that's going on at the WHO level. Of course, like we know, the WHO has a funding situation. So, if you are a healthcare professional, but also has a really good finance accounting skill, like that's definitely one of the big topics that they're like talking about all the time. Sustainable financing, how to fund the WHO. That's definitely one thing. The second thing is more like a climate change and health. It's a new topic, and because of the European Unions and several African countries, the WHO has a little bit more money in climate change and health. But I would say, like, in terms of the skills, like, and I was looking at the question probably around like leadership skill. There are a lot of things about leadership skill that are not necessarily technical. It's more of a mindset. So I think the leadership is more like having the ability to do something by yourself, but you choose to let others to help other people to do it better than yourself. And I think that's a very important leadership skill that as students that you kind of have to learn, is that you always want to be the one that's doing it. You want to be the one who is the speaker. You want to be the one who is like doing things on social media that people can see you all the time. But it's really important to know that to be a leader is not doing everything by yourself, is helping others to do it better than you. And the second thing is the leadership you have to cultivate your leadership through tough times. Like you cannot just it's really difficult for you to learn something new by just doing the same thing over and over again. So I would suggest to students is that do something really hard. When I was working for the IPSF, I was trying to push myself and work like more than 120 hours every week, and try to see the maximums that you can do, and try and through that exposure that you figure out, okay, this is my limit, how I can push myself, and how I can use that experience to help people who are part of my team or working for me to also push themselves to be better people. And lastly, I think leadership is about like leaping forward. So you always want to move forward. So there are some things that kind of like soft skills that you can learn throughout different experience. For instance, how to stay calm under pressure, how to be a open-minded person when someone gives you different ideas, how you can be accepted and see how that can work within your vision. And you also need to take calculated risks. Like you cannot become, the current political climate is to be completely risk aversive, which means that you don't want to take any risk. But if you want to actually make the world a healthier place, you actually have to take some risk, and how to see how you can take that calculated risk to push your team, actually make your community a healthier place. And I guess lastly, you are the ultimate shield for your team, and you need to have vision. So basically, you are the person that kind of pushing your team forward. Like they need to have the ability to make mistakes. As leaders, that you need to have the ability to tolerate those mistakes, because if you don't make any mistakes, you don't learn. And to be a leader, you actually have to let your team make those mistakes and teach them how to learn from the process, and helping them to build a better experience so they can be a leader for themselves in the future. I think that's all I have for this question.
It is really nice. So maybe we can have a sharing as well. And I have to thank Sam again. He's really a mentor for me as well. And he makes us and he makes these teams. So maybe we can turn to the Sherry.
Thanks, Walter. Well, I don't have any notes for this one, I think. And I totally agree actually with what Sam's mentioned. If there is another thing that I would add, I would say if we are talking about skills, I will speak here according to my experience. It is always about like transferable skills that we are thinking in here, that we can learn and get basically. So apart from what Sam's already mentioned about leadership skills, which I totally agree on that, I would say like a time management skills is also things that that is really useful in here, and I kinds of like during kinds of like a lot of voluntary activities that I've been doing, and also with the job, and also with kinds of like studying and things like that. That time management skill is a thing that is kinds of things that I learned from here. And if, for example, about skills that we need in talking about like Youth Hub a little bit about skills that we need at the moment, I would say like it also, because we are focusing, I would speak like, because I kinds of like involved in the research working group. It's about like how we conduct a research, and that would be the thing that we are looking for. If, for example, we are trying to find members who can join us and be involved, like for example, in the research working group. So it really depends on the one that you want to kinds of like join. I would say like, for example, in Youth Hub we have like 3 working group, advocacy working group. That would have like a different skill set compared to like research working group, and also with the convening space working group. So there would be a different skill set that we will have, that we will need for that one. But apart from that, remember that you think if, for example, you're looking at yourself, I think you really need to self-assess yourself and see what kinds of transferable skills that you have, because that would be the thing that you can map to each of them. It's not only like a topic specific, but it can also be what kinds of skill set that you have. Like I provide you previously with the time management, with like project management. It's kinds of like transferable, and we all need in any topics that we have. So that would be a thing that I will add, most probably, yeah, because I don't have note for that. Sorry about that, but I totally agree with what Sam's already mentioned actually.
I think that
Okay,
really
back to you,
we
Walter.
have learned for
Yeah.
so much from Sherry's as well. So maybe we can have I can have a recap and also have sharing also my experience before. Because in my experiences, I found that health economics will be an emerging opportunity for we can learn about this. Because we know the medicine is so expensive. However, in the global wise, the universal health coverage is about the budget, about the financial skills. So I had to thank Sam mentioned about accounting skills and financial skills. Health economics will be the future. I think so. Another one will be the leaderships. I also serve in the global companies and the pharmaceutical companies. Our country medical director also mentions that the servant's leadership. The leadership is not only relies on the strategic goals, the thinking. It's also on the how we can make the work or this project be smoothly proceed or in implementations. So if you have to serve like a servant for your team members, they will more willing to help your project will be done. So the servant leadership and to make this process be done will be another key skills. And also I'd like to thank the Sherry for reminding us we have to know our status, to know what the resource we have and how we can improve our enhance ourselves. And I think the strengths you always will be your keystones for your future's development. And your weakness, you have to maintain it will be above reach, and you can have more chance in the brighter futures. So thank you for your session and your attendance today. And sorry about the times is approaching, so we have to ending these sessions. And for the last times, I would like to invite you all to open your camera, and we can have group photos. Thank you. So I think we may have a group photo. Everyone can open your camera, and I will able to change to show everyone's in the photos. Also, could you suppose we to have a screenshot in my screen? I can't share the screens in to show everyone in the screens. So also, could you also help us to have a screenshot?
I'll help as well. So just give us a cue. When would you want us to snap the photo?
I'm having issues on my end. I don't know this network.
So Eileen, do you suppose
Yeah,
to screenshot?
I'll
Oh,
do it. So
yes.
let's get ready, everyone. I will take 3 photos for all 3 pages. So just hold on your smiles for about 5 seconds after I'll count down. So 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, and then I'll go to the second page. Please keep smiling because you won't know which page you are in. So like 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, and one final page. 3, 2, 1, smile. All right, cool. Over to you, Walter.
Okay, it's really nice to have you all attending today. So have a nice day today. So goodbye, and keep connecting with our ACPG's LinkedIn, Facebook, or X. So is our QR code. Please to have these photos and share these links on your social medias, and keep connecting with our again. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.